Hey, hey,
All
Cypher.
right. I think it's time.
Cypher in the house.
I know. Well, gosh, welcome everyone for another AMA, an April Fool's AMA. We do have a lot of actually really cool stuff to share with everybody today. But I think we know the routine here. So, Zorling, I think we kick this off with a one soul winner for the AMA today.
One sole winner. Okay, you're gonna just fill in for just a minute as I pull up the system that does that. Now I notice we have two people in the audience with the same name. It's bracket. So open close bracket. I guess we won't be able to address either of you specifically. Okay, give me 1 second and we'll kick this off.
Cool.
In fact, let me take the snapshot while you get into it, and then I can announce once we're ready.
That sounds great. Okay, well then, with that, there are a couple other things that we'll be talking about today. So we want to go over, obviously, our meme contest winners. That'll come up here in just a little bit. Um, One thing I think that is worth calling out, the community was great at noticing my error with the white paper. So we did uh, correct the error with the new version. So for those who are taking a look at the white paper, we have pushed our first update. It was very minor, just some language around the rarity of the NFTs, as well as I changed the language for land. I know I had that in there as that we would be auctioning it off, but I've changed that to selling. Um,
Hold on, you're saying that the error was you didn't have the version. The actual doc was updated, but you didn't update the version number. Is that right?
yeah, so I did in the name of the doc, and I did update the kind of like the change list at the end of the white paper, but what I did not do is on the cover page, it still was showing version 1.0.0. So that's been fixed, and you were kind enough to push that live for me. So,
Yeah. Well, you guys, that's some serious attention to detail. Nicely done.
well, that's good because that makes me feel like anything else, if there are other mistakes, they'll get caught.
Okay.
With We're
I
ready to
I
go.
I officially, yeah, I can officially hit the button and call it a name as long as it's filtered properly. So give me a few seconds, and the winner of the AMA Hour Soul is Squiggle Muffkins. Squiggle Muffkins. You are now one soul richer, and that'll be transferred right away. So, congratulations, wherever you are.
I know, I'm trying to see if they're in my room.
I
I
like the
cannot
name
tell.
Squiggle Muffkins, and
That's pretty awesome.
I don't think I've had Squiggle pop up on our radar before. So this seems like your first win. So, congratulations.
I'm going to say congrats right now. Let's see. Awesome. And then we have, that's just the beginning because we do have quite a bit more to give away here. So if we're ready, let's dive directly into our contest winners for the meme contest as well.
Good.
So we had a lot of hilarious entries, and it was actually really difficult to kind of carve out the winners in this one. I just wanted to say seriously funny entries. Um, but if you don't mind, I'll go ahead and kick this one off, Zerling, with fifth place, which is a half soul winner. And that will go to Garlic River. And that was the meme for his crown is huge, which we all chuckled at.
River, congratulations. That is a half soul coming your way.
Awesome.
This
Congratulations.
works
And
perfect. You announce, and I hit buttons,
I'll keep
and
going.
and people get paid.
Yep, that is true. Let's see here. We have for fourth place, we have a half a soul for, and it actually came in on the entry as Ponya, but I think this is Ponyo. I think. And that is the Ice Age entry, which actually was pretty long. It feels like a lot of work went into that.
I wish I had those pulled up right now. Some really, really cool memes came in, but I don't know if I can recall the Ice Age one. What does it look like?
The Ice Age one? Oh, that's basically the two squirrels fighting, two prehistoric squirrels fighting over the acorn, but that's been converted to be them fighting over the crown from Kingmaker Tag.
Hey, I think at this pace, I'm gonna have soul in people's wallets before we get to the end of it. So that's actually kind of cool.
That's pretty
Usually it takes a
awesome.
moment to get it
Are you
out.
ready for
I'm
you
ready
ready
for
for
the
third
next.
place?
Yep. So
All
we're
right,
moving up.
for third place, we have a half soul winner, and that is Xenia, and that is the chicken kicking remix, is what I might call that.
I think we mentioned uh, this player's name last AMA, and I swear they actually posted the proper pronunciation of it. And I hope you didn't botch it again, because it
I
was
know
me that botched it the first time.
I'm seriously the worst. Um, but yes, post a correction again if we need one, and I will do my best. And for those who, if anyone hasn't seen these, I would highly recommend heading over to the social channels and checking them out. Though there were a lot of good entries. Um, but if we're ready for second, are you ready for second?
I'm ready for second.
We're getting into the big winners here. So for second place, we have a one soul winner, and this one goes out to Blue Lizard. Blue Lizard.
Blue Lizard 29. Is it? I mean, is it legit to just
That
drop the
is.
number at the end?
That's probably a mistake. Blue Lizard 29. I don't know how I just missed that. But yes, this is the Fae running through the Trader's Port with the text, "Gotta go fast." For those of us who know our Sonic the Hedgehog, that is the theme. And
Hey, you can keep whenever
congratulations.
you're ready. Congratulations, Blue Lizard 29.
Yes, congrats. I'm seeing people telling Blue Lizard 29 to go and get that winged Fae. Go do it.
Before the token drop. Oh,
Oh.
sorry, I'm jumping ahead. Continue
Oh,
on.
yeah, you can't leak out that news yet, but well, I'll go quick here for first place, and this is our Fae winner. And I have to say, there were a few of these that were pretty funny. I hope it's not too on the nose, but I laughed pretty hard, and honestly, it looked so good in game. But this is Chopstick Boy, who has won a Fae for the basically the Fae slapping the King Fae with the text, "Don't you ever call my secret stat a 3. It's a secret stat 1." But seriously impressed at how much it looked like the Fae was slapping the other Fae.
Did they just time the actions just right? I'm gonna have to check
it,
this one out.
it appears that way to me. And I feel like it's referencing something very relevant today, which also people chuckled at.
Oh come
But
on! Oh come
honestly,
on! You can just say it, right? Will
I mean,
slapping.
we'll slap and rock. That'll happen.
Right.
But that one was awesome. Laughed hard. And seriously, congratulations, Chopstick Boy and Blue Lizard 29, Xenia Ponyo, I think, and Garlic River. Those are our meme contest winners. And again, if you haven't checked them out, head to Twitter and Instagram and take a look.
Congratulations, you guys.
Super cool.
All right, I think we're ready to move into questions.
Oh, I think before
No,
that
we're not.
we have a pretty
Oh,
big announcement regarding something you just leaked a moment ago.
I think you wanted to say best for last. Okay.
Oh, we can if you'd like.
No, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Okay, so today, for those who've noticed the post in Discord or up on the social channels, today is the day. So we are officially ready to go with the creator token drop. Um, Zorling and team have been working super hard to get all this ready, and they basically are going to capture a snapshot of all wallets holding Cinder Fae today at 2 p.m. That's 2 p.m. our time, so actually that would be 1 p.m. Pacific. Um,
Let me
right,
go into a little detail on this. So what that means is right at that time, anybody that's got a Fay in their wallet, that snapshot is created, and then those tokens are dropped to those wallets. So if you have one Fay, you'll receive one creator token, two Fay, two, and so on and so forth. So if you're interested in getting the creator token, don't send off your Fay. Hang tight. 2 o'clock is when the snapshot happens. 2 o'clock our time, 1 p.m. Pacific time.
yes, and then it's worth noting, right, that the actual airdrop could take a decent amount of time. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's going to take a number of hours. So don't worry if you don't see it right away. The blockchain, especially with the number of transactions, and even just the process of sending them out, it takes time. So hang tight. And if you don't see a token by next week, reach out to our customer support. We'll figure it out.
Yes, and it feels important to note here too, just in line with some of the questions that we've received. We did have one question that I feel like pertains directly to this, and this was from Penniless Imp 749. And this question was, if you only have a Cinder token in your wallet but no Fey, as you were given a token by a friend or bought from the marketplace, would you be able to log into the game with just a creator token to create an imp to play with? And right now the answer to that is no. So you do have to have a Cinder character to be able to access the game, which will then in turn give you access to the generator. I actually love the idea of allowing a creator token holder to access the generator to create their first character, but that functionality just doesn't exist currently. So the best course of action would be to actually, hold off until that generator is live, generate your imp, and then give or sell that to someone, granting them access. But we'll continue to work on these features and refine things as we move down the road, and who knows what the future will hold. Maybe that's a possibility for us.
Yeah, definitely. If I can jump in, technically, it certainly is possible. The way that these tokens have been created, we definitely could move in that direction. I think it could be a fun one where you could enter into a portion of the creator, so it wouldn't be into Cinder, but it would let you into the creator, and you could create your second gen avatar. But at this point, as Cypher said, that is not possible.
Well, and not to jump too deep down the rabbit hole here because I don't know what I don't know here yet, but in my mind, part of this was, if we did have this in the future, it would be great. They could, we could look at the contents of their wallet, maybe give access to the generator, but there is that time delay between spending that token and having that NFT minted and then passed back to your wallet. So just be an interesting conversation to see what we'd have to do there.
Cypher's walking around his office. You can tell. You get a little reverb as he's moving towards the walls.
Oh, do you notice? That's crazy. All right, I will stay in one position because you totally pegged me there. So just a couple other things that are worth noting here. We're still hard at work on our die show. Really looking forward to sharing some initial looks here very soon. We just don't want to do that prematurely. We want to make sure that we have everything lined up correctly. We're hard at work on the combat mechanic, everything from stats and attacks to gameplay flow. Those things are all moving along nicely. Cranking away at making sure this imp is ready to go when the generator goes live, and it's worth noting with the generator as well. We're working hard to get that out here following the token drop. It'll probably be, or basically what we're looking for is sometime later this month. I know that, gosh, you'll even be out for a little bit, right, Zorling?
Yeah, I will. And I think the community understands. For us, it's more important to get it right than to get it right on time. And this is going to be a really important feature, and we're putting a lot of attention into it and working hard on it. But we do want to make sure that once it does go live, that it's something that people really enjoy and love to use. So that's my 2 cents on it.
Cool. Yeah, I'm very impressed actually. There's a lot going on, under the hood here, but in terms of the user experience, it feels really intuitive and smooth. Um, I don't think people utilizing this will understand how much has gone on behind the scenes to make it happen. So good job for your team. With that though, yeah, I mean, maybe we dive into these questions. There are a whole bunch here. I haven't really acknowledged yet though that I'm sure everyone has noticed we don't have Hack Attack today, and we don't have Cinderspire today. So there's still some traveling happening. I know Cinderspire was out at an NFT conference. Expect to have him back for next week's AMA, I believe, and hopefully some of the questions that are more aimed in his direction can be answered next week. So we'll have more information for the group here soon. With that said, though, I think we could just start going through some of the questions here. And the first one seems very, very important. We have a question from O'Reilly Auto Parts that is, how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
This is from O'Reilly Auto Parts. All right.
It's from O'Reilly Auto Parts. And the answer to that, I think there are a few answers. A woodchuck would chuck as much, as much wood as a woodchuck could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood. But I have to say, there's another answer here I found. Well, I don't even have a relation here to why this matters, but I'm reading that Thomas reasoned that if a woodchuck could chuck wood, he would chuck an amount equivalent to the weight of the dirt, which is roughly 700 pounds.
Wait, what? You lost me. The weight of the dirt? Do it again. Say it again.
So the answer is the New York State wildlife expert Richard Thomas found that a woodchuck could and does chuck around 35 cubic feet of dirt in the course of digging a burrow. So he reasoned that if a woodchuck could chuck wood, he would chuck an amount equivalent to the weight of that dirt, which is roughly 700 pounds.
700 pounds. Okay. So see, I was thinking all at once, but no, they're aggregating, they're adding up the total amount of dirt at 35 cubic feet. Okay. Acceptable.
With that,
everybody buy in on that one.
I think it's a good answer to the deepest question of the day. O'Reilly Auto Parts did follow this up with an actual question about cocktail hour, though, asking if that will ever happen in future months. And I think, somewhat exciting, but we are actually extending cocktail hour through this week. We'll announce a little bit more regarding the future of cocktail hour, as well as maybe some other events.
Wait, hold on. Is this an April Fool's joke?
No, I don't think so.
No, this is real. This is real, huh? I know. I'm just kidding.
So
no, we're definitely going to extend it. We're keeping it running. No reason to kill a good thing. So yeah, I'm just messing. I thought it is April 1st, and we didn't start off with any kind of April Fool's joke. So
I was trying to think like how damaging an April Fool's joke could be during an AMA, or how good, but we'll see where this lands. We do have, though, we will announce more in next week's AMA, but yes, definitely, keep logging in for cocktail hour. We'll go ahead and carry that through the rest of this week to the next AMA, and then hopefully we can provide some additional information next week.
Can I interject real quick, because it's happening right in front of me. Chopstick Boy, your fate is really cool that you're getting. That's all I want to say.
It's funny because I'm also seeing some questions that are popping up here in the parlor. One of them was actually how we had a look at the imp yet, and we do have a look at the imp in the white paper. So if you haven't taken a look, we do have just a little concept at the end of the white paper. Obviously the character's all the way modeled, ready to go. We're just working on some of the attributes and locking those in right now and just wrapping that up. But yeah, it's kind of nice to see questions popping up in the parlor as well. So I'm just going to jump into the next couple of these. So we do have another one from WorderCat. And that one was, will Ember's value be tied to Ash's? Like in the way that some games let you use a larger amount of free currency to buy stuff that's cheaper in the premium currency? Or will the two be completely distinct from each other? Right now, it seems to me like it's pretty unlikely that they would overlap in that way, at least not with the model that Cinder has and is putting together. But I also think and assume that we'll know a little bit more as we do our tokenomics deep dive here in the near future. So we do have, as you know, Cinder Spire had announced, we are going to be diving a little bit deeper and working with some people to ensure that we have everything aligned and set up properly. So. But with that said, I really don't think, at least for everything that I've been working on, I don't think I see Ash functioning as an alternate to Ember necessarily. I can see them working in conjunction with each other though. But I think my best answer to that is more information to come. And then we do have one more real quick from Murdercat. I'll go ahead and knock that one out. Will we be able to trade unused Daisho parts to players within Cinder, either for other parts or for Ash? So really right now, the core to this loop would actually be disassembling those parts back into Ash. That's actually an area that I'd say is still a little bit, I think I can announce this, a little fuzzy in design right now. We're working through some of those details. But we do have a pretty strong plan in place for Daisho being able to be deconstructed into Ash. We just haven't had the conversation into individual parts quite yet. I'll keep just cranking through these here. We have a question from Taco Lord. It's actually a really long question, so I'll go ahead and see if I can get through the main points of it. So Taco Lord asks about the plans for different game modes and mechanics. They play a lot of MMOs and want to see the best features and standards from games come to Cinder. We agree with that statement. Right now, so the things that we've announced, we have the Daisho core crafting mechanic that's coming. We do have a Daisho hunting mechanic that's coming. There's obviously the battle mechanic, the PvP battle mechanic, and PvE is actually being discussed, but PvP is the core focus right now. We have land and house customization, as well as training, Daisho training. And so these will come in various forms, whether they be a mechanic or a mechanism or maybe a feature that contains gameplay in order to accomplish these. They also kind of dove into what types of games are going to be coming and what will those look like. And so and they asked about will we be making more games like Crown Tag. We will be putting more of these prototypes in. They really are just that. So they're just little sample tests and prototypes, things to play around with and have fun with within the world. But as I said before, or in a previous AMA, they really aren't indicative of the future gameplay. So they're not really considered part of that core. But that kind of dovetails into this next section where Taco Lord did talk about, the platforming being a little bit frustrating within Cinder. I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, these clearly weren't built to be, these characters and environments weren't built originally for platforming in the current state, and so that's being, some manipulation is happening right now, so we're improving several areas of the game behind the scenes, so you should expect to see performance increases, navigation improvements, gameplay, latency. These are things that we're looking into now just to ensure that when we do launch the play to earn and everything is live, that we are in as good of a state as we can be. And then, let's see, we have one more here. And, Zorling, I think this one might be a good one for you.
Okay. Let's see. This is from Gaza. Gaza's in the audience. So I'm wondering how Cinder as a desktop app can interact with this on a blockchain. And they go on to say, I see how this can work for read contracts since the login maps to the account address, but for transactions it requires spending Ash. Actually, we could just say for transactions, doesn't this require phantom approvals in a browser? Will there be a separate marketplace that is browser-based? What about actions that change our NFT's attributes? What we need to approve those in a browser also. This actually makes me feel like we probably should have some tech AMAs at some point in time, because clearly, Gaza, you know enough about blockchain. This is a great question. Right now, one thing that's been important for us is a better question, and I think really the core to your question is where's your private key stored? And right now, many of us have the Phantom wallet. That's called a web wallet, right? Web-based wallet. Your private key is there. So any transaction that is going to be removing uh, tokens from that wallet, you need to sign it with that private key. That doesn't mean you can't interact with the Solana blockchain without it being web-based. In fact, when we're done with the AMA and we actually start launching the creator tokens, there is no browser involved. That's all behind the scenes. That's code running and creating these Solana transactions. As we move into Cinder and having the opportunity to have your NFT change attributes, and these are all things that are certainly going to be driven by product and by community and what we'd like to see. There's so many different ways to go about it. One of them is called a custodial wallet, where behind the scenes, for the in-game resources, the game can sign it or the services can sign it because that private key lives in the custodial wallet. The other option is, you can modify the off-chain data without signing, and this is something that we've seen in a lot of blockchain games, where that off-chain metadata is what's recording any of the core attributes or attributes that might be mutated. So a great question. Certainly there's a lot of things that we're considering. Our end goal is we want to make an amazing experience for our players, something that's easy for them. They don't have to jump through hoops in order for things to happen. It just feels natural. And yet we want it to remain, first and foremost, incredibly safe. So the private keys for us, it's always, we want it to reside in your own wallet. So when like the token lands today, that creator token, it's in your wallet, and only you could sign to have that go to, if you're selling it or to somebody. That's important for us. So security is paramount. But great question, and again, we'll see how things unfold. But there is a number of different ways to tackle it, and it doesn't have to be all browser based. I think that's it.
Interesting. An interesting addition to that too is that kind of dovetails into the very next question, which is another question from Taco Lord, actually asking about any plans for the game being browser based. And I know, Zorling, you and I talked about this. We would love to offer a browser-based version of Cinder. Yeah, and honestly, in the future, if that becomes a possibility for us, that will be something we'll be looking at.
We would jump all over it.
That would be super cool. They also ask about, and I do want to do their question justice, so they're actually commenting a little bit on performance, just saying, they're having, in some cases, some pretty poor performance within Cinder, just depending on the machine, and it really not running maybe on an older machine. We're well aware of optimizations that are needed, and we have a bunch that'll be on their way and that are even being worked on now. A few of these things, just to name a few things that'll be kind of up and coming here. We definitely want to open up more settings to have control over just different aspects of the performance of the game. But beyond that, we want to make sure that we're building in optimizations as well. So we're looking in, and I kind of said this earlier, but we're looking into some solutions for latency, which I'm sure is noticeable a little bit when you're playing the Kingmaker tag. That's one of the things we wanted to toss that in for, is just to see what we're up against there. So we're working on those optimizations, as well as, as we go through and add new environments and new features, those are going through pretty strict optimizations before we even reveal them. And some of I'd say the debt we carry now, we're working hard to resolve. Would you agree with that, Zorling?
I would, absolutely. And optimizations, it's a never-ending battle. There's always opportunities to dial things in a little bit tighter. And there's just a balance between kind of that visual, how rich that experience is, and what machines can play it. I'm probably going to date myself here, but I remember playing a game called Under a Killing Moon, and I had like this smoking fast 486 DX to 33 megahertz, and you hit a button and it turned into 66 megahertz. It was the turbo button, and then you're really smoking fast. But I remember loading that game. I was so excited, and it just chugged, and it was really frustrating. So For us, clearly it comes down to the balance of how far we can push, your graphics card and the machines running the different experiences that we're trying to create. But then again, there's always optimizations, different levels of details for our models, trying to compress textures down, even audio. So that's an endless journey for us, and we really would like to make the game perform better and better as time goes on, and also make it more accessible to lower end devices that might not have a great experience at this point in time. So, great question, though.
Yeah, to add to that too, I mean, it would be my hope that within the settings menu, you'd be able to actually control to a larger degree, just to ensure, if you're just kind of the level of display, so like the LOD, and just making sure that, if you happen to be on an older machine, we want to make sure that you can, turn down some of those settings and still have a good experience. But lots of this on the way, and like Zorling said, this will be an ongoing battle, and so I would say it probably won't be just one update, but several over time that should increase performance and allow for some of the questions, some of Top Lord's question just regarding, players in the room when Daisho enter the world, and just what we'll be able to handle in terms of different people's machines. So more to come there. Let's see, there are a few more here. We have one from Xenia, and there are two questions here. So the first one is, how will Cinder stand apart from games like Axie Infinity? I'll state kind of the obvious here, but Cinder will be first and foremost full 3D. So over time, we'll be working to just continue to beautify the world and these new environments that will be coming. But I think that's going to kind of change the shape of how you experience Cinder, how you navigate the world. And then even beyond that, the combat structure is entirely different in terms of how combat will be played out within this game. The crafting systems should set this apart as well. I think the mini games, I'm calling them mini games, but these other activities that will come into play for whether it be training Daisho, catching Daisho, those, again, differentiating factors. As well as, in some ways, I hope we end up being a little bit more approachable for the average gamer too. Just, I think we've already kind of had the conversation about plots of land being more accessible and ensuring that not just early adopters, but those who are interested can acquire land, as well as these secondary characters. Really hopeful that we'll see an influx of players as those come online. So pretty excited, but I do think as this all starts to unfold, they're quite different. And then on the second question here, it's how do you guys plan to successfully market and advertise Cinder? This is one I'm just going to gloss over really quickly. I think this is a better question for Cinderspire once he's back in the office or back on the AMAs, which I do believe will be next week. And then hopefully he can speak a little bit more to that, but we have some pretty exciting things on the horizon. So I would say hold on that question and see if we can get you more information here in the next week or two. Wow, I feel like all the questions I'm seeing are from contest winners right now. So we have a question from Squiggle Muffkins. And the question is, and I think this is a good one for you, Zorling, do we need to be signed into Cinder for the airdrop?
Thank goodness you do not. So we're able to get all of the holders of phase without you being in the game. We're not even looking at that. We're just looking at the blockchain. So the answer is no, don't worry about it. Anyone that has a Fey will get a drop. Good question. And actually, can I take the next one too?
Yes, you may.
Actually, it's probably more down your alley, but the question is, will imps have artist signature? And now, I guess we could take this a couple different directions, but as far as the data that we could mint to the blockchain, I think that could be pretty darn cool. So great idea, and certainly something that we could think about is including the artist within that on-chain or even off-chain data. So fantastic question, and these are the kind of questions that kind of get our gears turning a bit, and if it makes sense, we will implement it. So, but I really like the idea. Okay.
Yeah. let's see. Oh, next one here. I'll just keep ticking these off. They're coming in fast. So we have another one from Mingus, and they're just adding emphasis to Imp's question. So the ability to log into the game and create an Imp, even if you don't hold a Fae, would be super helpful for bringing more people into Cinder. Giving some a token along with the ability for them to build an Imp that they like would be a huge bonus. We totally agree with that. Right now, obviously, the community is fairly small. We've only had our original mint, the Genesis Fae mint, and then we move into this next stage, right, which are these creator tokens dropping today, and then step by step we move our way over to the generator, and we don't stop there, right? We have upcoming future mints, and then I would say added technology that's going to be implemented as we grow these feature sets. So kind of as we were saying before, I think this is a great idea. I think it is a huge bonus, and I think it actually would bring more people into Cinder. So these conversations will be ongoing. Hopefully we can give a more solid answer in the very near future, but I agree. It would be awesome if you could log in with your token and create your Fae.
Yep.
Or your Imp, sorry, I guess.
Well, you're fill in the blank. There's more to come, so this is a good idea.
Yes, and then I see a really good question here from Chopstick Boy. Will there be any future plans for other traits other than the secret stats or wings to provide in-game bonuses or functions, or are they just planned to be cosmetic? I think it's safe to say that there will be other traits. One that we haven't talked about a lot here, but that is the basically the different classes of avatar in Cinder having an affinity for different types of daisho. So you definitely could see some of those traits, and will see, I guess is the better way to put this, but you will see those traits manifest as Play to Earn comes online, and so it will make a difference depending on which avatar you are playing as. On top of that, there are quite a few other, we can call them traits, gameplay traits, we could call them almost character attributes, not necessarily NFT attributes at this stage, but there are other things that are in discussion that are making their way into the Play to Earn design. And so I would say this is one I'd hold tight, and there will be more information coming, but there are plans for other traits, yes, aside from
I like so something I've been thinking about, with Kingmaker, and when I've gotten in there and I'm playing around, I've noticed it's fun for me to have, I'm fortunate, I've got a Fae with wings, and I really like to jump into the updraft and kind of like look around at people. And anyway, I think it gives me a little bit of an edge. It certainly doesn't prevent me from getting my crown stolen, but it does give you a little bit of an edge. If that was a play to earn type game, I could see that play mechanic being really, really fun, knowing that you've got certain characters that have certain advantages in different play to earn games, and maybe that's also part of the design is Cypher is looking at these different P2E mechanics, is knowing how the different traits play into it. But anyway, I'm a tech guy. I love but I love thinking about it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's. I really think that as we get to a point where we can start maybe some of these reveals for Play to Earn, and maybe when a little bit of beta testing is happening, I think these are really going to start to manifest as the core loop comes in. But definitely, there's a little bit of a, gosh, do you sell your token? Do you create an imp and sell your imp? Do you keep your imp based on what affinity they might have for daisho? There's some tough questions there, I think, for players.
Well, we're kind of getting to the end of the questions, and what are your thoughts?
Well, I do have one more here that's a good one, actually. They're still kind of trickling in.
Oh, okay.
But I do, just really quick, I just saw a good one from Mingus, and it's really relevant to today's token drop. So they're asking, can these tokens only be used to create imps, or can they be held and used to create other avatar classes? And the answer to that is they are specific to the imp. And so the tokens that are associated to our minted NFT characters, they are always going to be associated to their partner avatar. And so in this case, the imp is tied to the Fae. So for those who own a Fae, they get an imp token. When our next NFT drop happens, or mint happens, that avatar will have a secondary token assigned to it that will unlock a completely different class of avatar. So these will be different with each release.
Hey, real quick, shout out to Off. I see you posted that wallet guide and mentioned quite interesting. That's good for anybody that like Gaza that's kind of interested in knowing how some of these transactions happen on the block. Dig into that. So thanks for posting that.
Very cool. And then I'm going to keep cranking because these are still just kind of trickling in, but we do have another one from Wings that says, do you have an estimate to when the early access play to earn will be? Will they be before the next minting of creatures? Now that's a really, really tough one to answer because I think it's important to us that we release and reveal these things when they're ready and worthy of the community. I have, and without diving too deep into this, I have kind of I would say my production schedule hopes, like the things that I would hope that we could accomplish in the time that we have as we move through this year. I do think it's pretty safe to say that the second avatar mint will likely precede play to earn. However, I'm hopeful that we will have started that reveal by then. Again, I am just kind of giving my hopes here, but it would be great if we could share a little bit of a teaser for even if it's the hunting of Daisho or getting ready for that play to earn beta that we'd like to hold. But those don't have set dates as of yet. We have targets that we're aiming for, and I think as we get a little bit further down the road in production, we'll be able to answer those more clearly. But definitely look ahead to that second avatar mint. We are holding strong that will be sometime around the June timeframe. And the good news for that second avatar drop is that it'll actually come with the token, so there won't be a delay or a waiting period the second time around. That's the way I understand it. Is that correct, Zorling?
That's correct. Yep. Sorry, right when you asked me the question, I read Captain Nero's I'm a pirate fae. I like combat, the sea, and booty. Will there be a game fun for pirates like me? I'm going to turn that one over to you. Do you have any seafaring games coming?
Well, I mean, I'm definitely seeing a lot of requests for fishing. I don't know if that falls into the pirate category. I definitely know that we've got some combat on the way. And I think that if we can associate Ash rewards to booty, then I think we're good to go there. So, Captain Nero, I think you're going to be pleased as we get some of these features online.
Wings has a great question for you.
Yeah. Oh, that's kind of the same question. So yes, the token, they asked, will the token for the second minting be different than the imp token? And will there always be tokens that come along with mints? Yes, it will be different. So when the second minted avatar from Cinder comes out, it will come with an associated token, and that associated token will be able to be used to generate a new character. We do have here, and I'm just trying to think of how the flow of this is going to work. So while I know that we'll mint these characters for the second mint and they will come along with their token, I'll get on this and try to figure out if the second avatar can be generated with the generator that day, or if there's a waiting period between the avatar mint and when the secondary avatar can be generated. So more information on that to come. But yeah, I think it's actually super cool that each time a new avatar comes out, it's effectively creating a second avatar class, a companion class that comes along with it.
It's cool, just the concept of create to earn. Anytime you invest in an NFT, you've got the opportunity to make something cool and sell it. So almost like a 2-for-1.
Yeah, agreed. I personally see a lot of value there, and really hoping to make sure that those who participate in the mints see that added value, and we want them to bring their friends in, or at least benefit financially from the creation of that second NFT. let me look here. I do see another good one, which is a question from Purple Penguin 04, and that is, I prefer to play with a controller. Is proper controller support coming? How about custom keybinds? I'm just going to be a yes and a yes to both of those. I have, I'm trying to look, it's funny because I totally work off this, it's like my schedule I'm hoping to adhere to, but it just kind of depends on where these pieces fall in priority. But I have controller support on here. I have controller support for Q2 of this year. I can't say I've, passed this all the way through Zorling or others, but it's sitting here marked as an engagement improvement for Cinder. So controller support, though, is it coming? Absolutely yes. And key bindings, yes, we will be making sure that we continue down navigation and controller support in terms of easing up that experience.
Wow, questions flooding in. Let me pick one off real quick. And actually, word or answer to Wings asked, for the second minting, if we sell our minted creature, will the token go to the person that you sold your creature to, or will it remain in the minter's wallet? It actually, that token is burned. So it's just like you're putting it into a machine and pulling down a handle and your creature comes out. That token goes away. So the other question I penciled this in was, with the recent announcement of OpenSea, is there anything going on with Cinder and OpenSea as far as possibilities? Really what that comes down to is, as long as we are adhering to the best practices, OpenSea standards is what we're looking at, and everything that we're doing falls within those standards. And so any cool features that OpenSea has will be immediately accessible to our community here, our Cinder community. So that's exciting. And actually, the news was really exciting. The price of Sol went up quite drastically. So all good stuff for those of us in this world.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting.
Okay, I think that was it. I think that's tackle.
Well, all right, I think that's most of them here. I'll tell you what I think we do need to do is, I think we do need to take a look at our second One Soul winner.
All right, let's do it. So, pulling the list right now.
Let's see if you pick someone in my room.
I can't control it. It literally just spits it out. And the winner is one that I have heard before, or maybe even called your name out before, but Neo. Neo is the winner of the second part of the AMA. So One Soul coming your way, Neo. Congratulations.
Neo, is that like the Mios are like those flavored drink additives?
NEO. I think is it me?
Mayo.
It's Mio? Yeah, so sorry. N is in Nathan.
Oh. Neo. Oh my gosh, right here in my room.
You have Neo in there?
Yep.
Congrats, Neo.
Everybody's jumping around. Neo's looking all chill, just floating up on the bar.
All right.
Awesome. Honestly, I think that's it for this week. I think we can.
Do we let everybody bounce a little early and they can watch these April Fool's videos that are floating around the internet? I think so.
Say that one more time.
I said we can let everybody out at least 10 minutes early. Usually there's about an hour, but I feel like you guys can use those 10 minutes to find some fun April Fool's videos that are out. I always enjoy Google. Google always has some funny April Fool's joke, but I'm not sure if they have anything this year. I'll leave it up to you guys to explore.
Oh, that's good.
I did see Sun-Made Raisins said they're making a grape jerky. So those of you beef jerky eaters, Sun-Made. I do think that's an April Fool's joke, though.
I feel like I need to go steal this crown for a few minutes.
Okay, you guys. Well, I think without further ado, we say thank you all. Thanks for the great questions. Thanks for great ideas, and keep them coming. Really exciting days ahead. So Have a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, we'll see everybody next week.
See ya.
Bye, everyone.